Hey, what is up guys? My name is Orb, and this is my third upload I think, on my YouTube channel. And today we're going to be talking about the Holger 26. So recently in the May 18th update, they've buffed a bunch of weapons, and they've also nerfed a couple of weapons here and there in Warzone and multiplayer. But one of the ones that got buffed was the Holger 26, and that one got a bunch of attachment buffs. It also got like a base ADS speed buff. So overall, this weapon has become faster, and I think that's what the IW developers were sort of intending when they introduced Holger 26 into Modern Warfare, because they have an attachment to 30-round mags and a whole conversion kit so that you can play with a G36C, which is the conversion of the Holger 26 when it's an assault rifle. So if you didn't know, the Holger 26 is an LMG, and as of right now, there was a challenge to unlock it if you started a little bit late in Modern Warfare. It's not that difficult. It is an LMG though, so if you're trying to get your attachments first, you're gonna have to deal with a little bit of the slow-paced gameplay that you have to sort of work through so you can get your attachments unlocked. But once you do, and I'm gonna show you my G36C. These were the attachments that sort of got buffed, or most of them. So the XRX ultralight barrel got an attachment to its aim down sight speed, and I think it got a smaller, tighter hipfire spread, so it's that much more viable in close quarter combat. We also got a buff to the 30-round mags, so the 30-round mags now has better movement speed and better aim down sight speed. So overall, a lot of these attachments got sort of like a movement or an aim down sight speed buff. And so the other one that got buffed was a stippled grip tape. And we all know how good that is for any weapon. But for a gun like the Holger 26, which is really strong, if you've ever picked it up in Warzone with all those attachments on it, you know that it's very good and it melts in really long ranges. So the last attachment that got buffed, which I still don't have unlocked, is a no stock attachment. But I know that these attachments that we have now on this G36C, it's gonna be good. So one thing that I do want to point out is that the iron sights, they're kind of iffy. I don't really like them. So when this gun has a lot of vertical recoil, and it's not like vertical recoil. It's mostly visual recoil. So your gun will be jumping up and down when you're shooting it, and it becomes an issue to stay on target and like track your targets if your gun is bumping like that. So I put on a hollow sight, and the sight that I would ideally want to have is a GI Mini Reflex, but the closest thing I have to that right now is the Cronin Mini Reflex or the Solo Zero Mini Reflex. So that's sort of like later in. Again, it's sort of a hassle that you have to play with the LMG to unlock all those attachments, but it is what it is. So I'm going to be playing with it today. I'm going to show you how Modern Warfare 3 is back in Modern Warfare. That's like the whole like price thing. Talks English, but yeah, so we're gonna be playing some Hardhat 24/7. Modern Warfare 3 is basically back in Modern Warfare, and the way that we have that is in the G36, and we have Hardhat. It's the perfect sort of like combo, and I think the IW developers sort of had intended that because otherwise they wouldn't have come up with all these buffs for the specific Holger weapon, right? So it's almost like they want us to feel a little bit nostalgic about Modern Warfare 3. I don't know why. Maybe that's like it has to do with the reaction to the whole like Black Ops 10-year anniversary thing that happened recently. But nevertheless, we're gonna be playing with this in Hardhat. I do want to say that if you want to get really close to Modern Warfare 3 gameplay, I would attach the FSS infantry stock and play cranked on Hardhat, and it just feels like you're playing with a G36 and Stalker, like the way you would play in Hardhat back in the day. But nevertheless, we're gonna start playing now, and I hope you enjoy this video. We are playing kill confirmed. We're not gonna really feel a lot of movement buffs. If you were playing cranked, I think you'd be able to get away with more movement improvements because cranked makes you faster, but also when you're playing it with a gun like the Holger, any advantage to speed is really like welcome. Oh man, this map feels the same. It's crazy. I like that it's really bright. I remember that Modern Warfare and all the other Infinity Ward games were very like... Oh, that's my first step. And you gotta die to the M4, obviously. M4, MP5 overkill is ridiculously sweaty. It's really nice the way that the map looks. It's very vibrant. I think one of the things that a lot of people didn't like about the Infinity Ward games back in the day was how like dull they looked. So this is like the. All right, got my first 2 kills. I don't have any recoil managing attachments on my Holger. I feel like the recoil isn't that bad, as I was saying before. I think it just has to do with the visual recoil of the gun. And that's sort of what draws people away from this. The iron sights aren't very good either. And in combination with a really bad visual recoil, you're not going to have a good time. So I would recommend people use a red dot or a hollow. I personally really like the hollow because it's like sort of zoomy, but we all know it's not very zoomy, if that makes any sense. It balances. It's like straddles the line between zoom and close quarter sight. Yeah, so all the like the spots that we normally watch in Modern Warfare 3, they're still here in the Modern Warfare rendition of Hardhat. So I think it's cool because I memorized this map from playing it so much back in the day, and now I just feel like. Oh, okay, maybe I could have used some recoil managing attachments there. Like a foregrip or something. The visual recoil isn't too bad, though. The gun doesn't feel very snappy. It doesn't feel very snappy. Not like just yet. I feel like once I unlock the no stock attachment, I'll probably have a very snappy... Or a very snappy air quotes around snappy, right? Because this is still an LMG. And you're gonna get outclassed by something like even like this, something like the Striker 45. So keep that in mind. This isn't gonna be like these buffs that just came out aren't like a fix all for the Holger conversion kit, but it's definitely made a lot of improvements to the gun, and it made it really enjoyable to play with. I remember before the patch, it was really slow. Even like the stippled grip tape and all those other attachments hardly did anything. So I'm not gonna go as far as to say that it's gonna dethrone the meta, but like I think that it's gonna spice it up. Definitely gonna spice it up. Oh, one downside I think to this gun is that it doesn't have an extended mags attachment. We only have 30 rounds, and if you wanted to have more than that, you would have to get rid of the 30 round mag attachment. But as we all know, that's something that got buffed recently, and it's sort of pointless to do that. Otherwise, you're not really going to be playing with a fast AR. Nevertheless, I think that even the LMG magazine is pretty good too, with the whole speed. I kind of experimented a little bit with this weapon to see if keeping the barrel, like the LMG barrel on, would do anything, and it did kind of play slower. So that's why I went back to the XRX ultralight barrel. So I didn't want to play with the really small Spitfire barrel. I did play with that. It was really fast. It did speed up the gun a lot, but in return there was a lot of recoil. So I did say that I did mention the visual recoil. When you have visual recoil that coincides with a lot of like actual recoil, it's really bad. It feels like you have no control over the weapon. I don't know how I survived that. So another thing about this map is a lot of the kill streaks that I have on right now aren't very good for this map. As you can tell, there's a lot of like roofing, and that sort of ruins it if you're trying to play with like a VTOL warship or something like that. So that's the G36C. I'm gonna play some more, and I'm gonna try to get some clips for you. You know what kill streak I think would do really, really well in this map? It's the Wally or the Wilson. Because you can get into the tunnel. A lot of the map is very like closed roof if you're playing mid lane, but the other lanes are kind of open, so you can probably use like aerial streaks. But if you're playing like a objective based game mode, probably like Hardpoint or something, the Wilson would probably dominate in this map. I haven't tried it yet, but maybe I'll give it a try. Oh, that is, I did not notice that. Is that like an actual spot from Modern Warfare 3? Wow, this is really good. B flag is going to be ridiculously hard to capture. And the thing is, like, I think a lot of the IW devs have done their best to sort of get rid of these little spots here where it sort of makes it very dominant for a defending team or like an attacking team. the way that the maps are balanced in that way, the lines of sight and stuff, they're always changed with these new remastered maps. But yeah, clearly there's still a couple spots where you can head glitch and oh wow, we're getting pushed so hard. Okay, we got B back and we got C back. I haven't tried the Holger with stopping power rounds, but I bet it's gonna be really bad with the recoil because if you didn't know, stopping power rounds increases the recoil of weapons, which makes sense. You know, you're getting a stronger weapon in return, so the trade-off isn't that bad. Ooh. Oh yeah, man. I definitely feel like this gun could do with an extended mags attachment. But I guess people would argue that you have the original mags to play with, like the original LMG mags, which I think is 100 shots. I don't really know. Oh, I see. These guys playing the head glitch. Okay, so I think, yeah, so I think that's where I was sort of getting at before, where defending the flag is much easier than actually capturing it. And I had already figured that out when I was head glitching that one spot. And I think the enemy team is finally, oh shit, figuring that out too. Probably should have done that first. I think the cool thing about the Holger too is that it looks gorgeous. It's like one of those guns that looks really nice. I died. Ooh. That was lucky. I'm surprised these guys aren't running ghosts, because like I can see a lot of these people on the radar. Okay, let's try the stopping power rounds again. Okay, I can't jump from there. Yeah, I was like not gonna fucking fight that guy with his mobility. Okay, this is definitely giving me Modern Warfare vibes right now. Aw shit, let's go. It's about to be Modern Warfare up in this bitch. Check it out. So, dude, I did really well there. I'm surprised I got the AC-130. But yeah, we're gonna drop this baby. This is Modern Warfare. This is what it felt like. This is what it was. Hardhat. People were sweating with MP7s and ACRs. People were playing with AC-130s. You didn't know what to do in this map, and it's kind of open. Like you would have to. The cool thing about the AC-130 and just like any aerial streak in this map was that you kind of funneled everybody into the buildings, and so the rest of the team knew that hey, if you want to get kills, you're gonna have to go into the building and flush these rats out. Okay. So this specific building, of course, I'm talking about is the one where these guys are hiding in, and it's not annoying per se, but it is like a. Well, I'm thinking I'm gonna kill myself there. Yeah, I died. Oh, the guy killed me. Okay, but yeah, so you get the idea, right? I'm really feeling like I'm playing Modern Warfare right now because I'm popping off my streaks. It's great. Oh yeah, so this is one of those maps. Yeah, it's that building specifically. Got you, got you. Where are you going? Yeah, this mid lane right here. Look at it. I think they. Oh no, I can still shoot through it, I guess. So there's still. I think a lot of the spots are still there. I know people complained about backlot a lot and how they had added different like lines of sight, so they can change the lines of sight. So I'm glad that they sort of stayed true to the original Hardhat map to a degree. I don't remember it that well, so I don't know how much they changed, but I'm sure someone's gonna talk about that in another YouTube video. 46. I don't know how many deaths I have. Domination. I hope you guys liked this video. That's the Holger 36. I would encourage you guys to play with it. I have to play the game, obviously, but I think a lot of people like to stick to the guns that they're really good with, and that might be the MP4, the MP7, 46 and 9, the MP4, the M4, the MP7, and the MP5. And I think people should encourage themselves to play with different weapons. And one of those, I think, right now especially, one, so you can feel that MW3 nostalgia, but two, so you can sort of, pop off with something that isn't the M4, the MP5. I would suggest the G36C. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, share with your friends, try this out. I haven't tested out in Warzone. We already have different versions of the actual Holger LMG, and if you bring this G36C in it, I don't think it's gonna be that good because of the 30-round mag, and that's sort of like what is a crutch. I think those movement speed attachments, but I would definitely venture to try the all the movement attachments except for the 30-round mag, and sort of like see how that works, because you'll have 100 mags. It's basically a kilo, right? Without like an extra attachment, but it does do really well in multiplayer as a fast weapon. It's not very snappy yet, unless you have a no stock attachment, but I think that if you're playing cranked, you're probably going to dominate the lobby with this gun, and people are going to be so pissed. All right, thanks.